Hey, blog pausers, guess who this is? This is Yvonne DiVita, and I'm one of the co-founders, as you know, as everyone knows, I hope, of BlogPaws. And I have a very important VIP guest today. My VIP guest is Caroline Golon, and Caroline is also a co-founder of BlogPaws.
Hi, everyone.
If you haven't heard the story about how Caroline talked us into or how Caroline and Tom and I got together and decided to do this. Well, it's online and it's a bunch of other places, and you can stop me at the conference and I'll tell you if you like. But for now, we have this fabulous lady who has 3 blogs. One is called The Happy Litter Box. One is called Romeo the Cat, and Romeo the Cat is the one that I know her best from. But she also has one called Crayons and Collars. And Caroline, tell us about your blogs.
Of course. Well, so RomeoTheCat.com was the first blog that I started, and which is the reason we all came together, of course.
Yes.
Yep, that's how I met Yvonne, somehow through Twitter and Romeo.
Yeah,
and our
then we met face to face, and yeah.
Yeah, and I actually remember the first time I spoke with you. I was in my daughter's nursery on the floor, having a conversation with you, and one of your kids was overseas.
Yeah, in Japan.
Yep, in Japan. Yep, and we were talking books and pets and blogs.
Yeah.
It was so fun, and I knew I adored you from the start. So, and then it was, I think, probably almost a year later that we finally were able to connect and in real life. And so Romeo is what I started with. It was a blog that was designed to raise money for rescues. It was written in the voice of my cat Romeo, who unfortunately left us in December. But I'm very proud that over the course of the last 7 years has it been? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That blog raised $90,000 for rescues.
Wow, that is great.
And, I mean, I couldn't be more proud that this community helped me do that. And so that is really what launched my desire to connect with other pet bloggers and other pet lovers and bring this community together in a way that I knew could make a huge impact, like I was already seeing. The Happy Litter Box is a blog I started because Romeo was a PCAT, as we like to call them, and had pretty severe litter box issues. And I found out through my work that that's a big reason that pets or cats are relinquished to social.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart because in my research trying to find a solution, I found that there were, in many cases, it really is not a lot of work to help your cat get back to the box. Mm-hmm. So I just thought about how many families we could, we could help keep their sanity, how many cats we could, keep from going to the shelters. So I started the Happy Litter Box a year or so after Romeo. So that's been around for about 6 years. And I get emails all the time from people who have read the tips about getting your cats back to the litter box, or stories or case studies or testimonials about what other people have done. And I get these emails from people saying, oh my gosh, I was at the end of my rope and my husband was ready to send the cat to the shelter. Right. And I took the lid off the covered litter box and voila, my cat is back in the box. And so to me, that is, even one of those emails makes the entire effort worth it.
Sure. I mean, really, because cats are so unique. I mean, I have a pee dog right now, but she's old. She sometimes can't hold it. And luckily she pees in this one place that we have that's easy to clean up. But cats, I had a cat like that. And I did what the vet suggested. And back in those days, they suggested putting the cat in your powder room with the litter box. Yeah. And that would work for a while. Mm-hmm. But there were so many things that you are suggesting that I've read in the Happy Litter Box that I hear from other cat people now that I could have tried for this cat. And I think we would have been so much more successful. But it's great. It's great to have that. So tell us about Crayons and Collars, because I'm real interested in that one.
Well, I just about the time BlogPaws was born, so was my first daughter,
Yeah.
and I now have two.
Yeah.
And I have just loved having the girls and the cats together. It's been just amazing to see how the cats have adapted to the kids, how the kids have learned to be gentle, how they've learned to give a cat his space, how they have grown to be pet people. And it's really, really apparent. And they also gravitate to other pet people they meet at school, and they bond over their love for cats, for example. And it's very endearing and wonderful. And so I know that parents are super busy. I know that pet care is not always the top priority when you've got children running around and you love your cat or your dog so much, but they oftentimes get, third place, and, oftentimes the husband gets fourth.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Right. And so what I wanted to provide was a resource for families who are busy and they want information, or they have kids who just love animals and they want resources to foster that love. And so the Crayons and Collars is all about pet care, education, pet behavior in the context of a busy family. Mm-hmm. So products that I feature are always about things that will help busy families, little stories about kids and pets. And so, I've gotten great feedback on it. We've had that for about 3 or 4 years now. And it's growing every day. And it's something that obviously I'm really passionate about too.
Well, yeah, because your girls are still little.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's exciting for me to hear that, because it seems to me before the internet, before we were all blogging, people did not have that kind of information. So you could go to the shelter to get a new cat or a new dog and bring it home and not know what you were dealing with at all. Because heck, when I was a kid, you got a pet. It was your pet. And you fed it, and you might have let it out in the backyard. Maybe you walked it, but that was, and then you sat with it during TV time. I don't know. It wasn't the way it is today, where people are incorporating pets into their family and understanding that it's a living, breathing creature and it grows to love you as much as you love it. So it requires that kind of care. That's really fabulous. I love that blog. And I love that you thought of it when you had your kids, because so many parents, they just need to be able to have that kind of a resource. So speaking of all of that and starting blogs, and my blog, Scratchings and Sniffings, came before BlogPaws, but has grown with BlogPaws. I know that you watch what's going on at BlogPaws, and tell us what your thoughts are of BlogPaws today compared to BlogPaws when you and I came up with this crazy idea.
Wow. Well, I could not be prouder of what BlogPaws has grown to be. And I think about it a lot. I mean, it was truly back in the early days, it was the three of us working around the clock, trying to get our first conference pulled together, trying to let people know with this amazing supportive community that really wanted something. And so it was such an amazing time, wasn't it?
It was.
And we had such big dreams and hopes and goals. And I feel like that is all really coming to fruition now. People, when we just started this thing, we thought, if you recall, like the first conference, and we've just got a few people here, it'll be great. We actually, we had expectations. We knew people would love it, but we didn't know how much they would.
Right.
And so once we determined that, it was so gratifying to see people really react to it, brands and bloggers.
Yeah.
That's snowballed through the years. And so here we are today. BlogPaws is owned by PetSmart. I mean, Are you kidding? Like, that is incredible. And that gives pet bloggers and the pet community, it's a complete validation of what we've been doing is so important on the larger pet community scale so it's very, very exciting to have that type of support and And
yeah, I think that when we talk about BlogPaws and we talk about the story, and Tom and I talk about how we met face to face at Blog Her, and how we knew the community was there, but it wasn't connected,
yeah,
and how so many pet people wanted that community sense. And then we did the conference, and oh my, we could write a book about that first
yeah.
conference.
Oh gosh, we could. Yeah.
What we did with that conference. But in the end, I think we've all learned also from the community how to build it better and
Mhm.
how to make it better. And every year, the conference grows a little bit. We are extremely fortunate to be part of PetSmart because they're about the same thing that we're about, and they're not trying to change us. They're not trying to make us be something else. They're thrilled that we are BlogPaws, the pet community. But the exciting thing is the three of us remember when, and then we remember bringing Chloe on board. I remember taking her that check and saying, I don't know what to do with this check. We hadn't yet gotten the LLC or whatever it was, and we didn't know what to do with that check. But we did. We worked really, really hard because we were really, really passionate, and that's what's coming about now. The bloggers are stepping up to share that passion, not just with each other, but with the bigger world. Mm-hmm. And that's so extremely important in my mind, because there are lots of people who probably read maybe your blog that are not bloggers, but they're pet parents or they're pet owners, however they identify themselves, and they want to learn, they want to understand. And so, wow, this little thing we thought we would do isn't little anymore.
Not. But I will say one of the things that I love about it so much is that it's changed a lot, but it also hasn't. And so there's people who will, refer back to the first conference we had and say that it literally changed their lives. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And there are people who were at the conference last year who say it literally changed their lives. And so, every year somebody comes away from that conference, somebody, more than one person, I'm sure, but saying, oh my gosh, like, A, I found my people. This is amazing. B, I know what my calling is. I'm validated. I'm excited. I'm motivated. I can make change. I can do this. And it happens every year, and that hasn't changed. And I love that. That makes me so, so happy.
It makes me happy, and it makes me happy when you're there. So you'll be there this year, I hope.
Yep, I hope so.
I will be there this year, and we will all get up on stage and do a lot of cheers. And basically, BlogPaws will continue being what it is. And in the end, would you agree with me that it certainly has never, ever been about us? It's always been about the community and what we can do to help pets in shelters and pets that are neglected, and pets that are just even happy at homes. We just want to make sure people continue to learn and care for their pets properly.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Well, Caroline, thank you so much for joining us, and we will have this up on the blog, and I'll let you know when.
Very exciting. Thank you so much.